Hey there, boils and ghouls. I'm Mr. Macabre, and welcome back to my movie library. I made a big mistake. I went down to the record store today, and holy hell, they have a giant sale going on right now. They are selling all kinds of boutique label movies at reduced prices, and I hit up the sale. I kind of knew this was going to happen. I've said it before, around this time of year. This, though, was a little bit different. This here was normally it would be, like people would go and, like trade in their stuff and you could get marked down stuff, used and everything. A lot of this stuff I think is all brand new. I think it's just a lot of stock that they had and they're just putting on sale to get rid of it. But yeah, I mean, I got all kinds of stuff here. I'm sitting here looking. I got Severin, I've got Synapse, I've got Grindhouse releasing. I got some stuff here. This all came to about $244. I know that's definitely very steep, but that was the thing. Knowing that this was coming up, around this time of year, knowing that this was coming up, and I'd probably be able to get some good boutique label stuff at reduced prices. I made sure to save up for it. So, if you have that opportunity, I strongly suggest you go for it. It's a good way to really, get good quality boutique label movies, and you can get them at a fraction of the price, and you can really, you really build up your library. I know some people would be like, "Hey, dipshit, for $244, you realize how many, like dollar DVDs and stuff I could have bought? You realize the kind of, library?" But it's like, you get what I'm saying, though. It's just, this is if you want, like, the really good quality stuff. And that's what makes it nice, is when you can actually, when sales come along, and, like, throughout the time, you're sitting here, you're looking at, like, Arrow stuff, or, like I said, Grindhouse releasing Synapse, Severin, whatever you have, and everything. And it always seems so far out of reach, financially. So it's like, when something like this comes along, it's just so great to be able to jump on it and get some good stuff, and get some good quality movies into your collection. But some, of course, quality movies, quality additions, quality movies, I guess that's, subjective. But anyway, I've already been talking for over 2.5 minutes. Let's get into it. So yeah, we got quite a bit of stuff here. And okay, first from Synapse. Cannot believe I got two Synapse here that I'm looking at. Both of these only $12.99. First of all, I got Frankenhooker. Here we go. You see that there, $12.99. So yeah, very fun Frank Henenlotter movie. I've seen this movie before. It's a hoot. Always been getting around to picking this up, but just never did. And it never came up for a markdown price or anything until now. But I know some people will probably be like, "Dude, that's nothing. Did you see? You remember the old VHS box had the little button? You press the button, it would say, 'Want a date?' and stuff like that." Unfortunately, nothing like that here. Just simple, basic. But of course, watch. Now that I bought this, now I thought about that a little while ago. I was like, "Yeah, watch." Now that I bought this, guess what? Now next week we'll probably get the news that the 4K is coming around the corner. So, but anyway, it's nice to just finally get it into my movie library, at long last. So, like I said, a fun Frank Henenlotter movie I never had before. So, Frankenhooker, it's going to be fun to rewatch this again and check it out. This one here, another one. It's like, one I've been really wanting to get into my collection for a very long time. Finally got it, but of course it's Blu-ray, so which probably means now that I bought it, bada bing, bada boom, here comes the 4K announcement. But anyway, again, from Synapse, we have Curtains for $12.99, Canadian slasher movie. John Vernon is in this. The one I remember was Lynn Griffin. I was like, at first I was like, why does that seem familiar? Where do I know her from? It took me a couple of minutes, and I Googled her. It's like, oh, Black Christmas, duh. And that was, okay, Claire from Black Christmas. And also, too, Strange Brew. If you've never seen Strange Brew, it's hysterically funny. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. Dave Thomas, Rick Moranis, Max von Sydow. is so hilarious. You got, Mel Blanc, who did the voice of all the, the Looney Tunes characters, and Barney Rubble and all that kind of stuff, doing the voice of Bob and Doug McKenzie's parents. That was, or the father anyway. And the father, of course, is Yosemite Sam. So, but anyway, so yeah, she's in this movie, and John Vernon, good old Dean Wormer from Animal House himself. But here you go. So yeah, $19.99 retail price, but marked down to $12.99. So got a good deal on it. So yeah, really happy about this. Of course, like I said, it's Blu-ray, which probably means, now that I bought this, very next thing you know, here comes the 4K. But man, look at that. Look at all the bonus features on there. Look at all that. That's quite a bit of stuff. So yeah, so really nice to finally get curtains in my... I did have on one of those like multi-movie packs, kind of like the really, multi-movie DVD packs had like the really bad, like crappy, kind of like, old VHS quality look to it and stuff, so it's nice to get a nice clean copy of this, high definition. So, all right, now we do have a 4K finally. This one here from, was it Celluloid Pictures or Celluloid Dreams? I'm sorry. Yeah, I've seen this movie. I do like it. I've been wanting to get around to getting this on 4K. Finally, but always seemed pretty pricey to me. So to get it for under $30, I'm really happy to finally get my hands on it. We have the case of, I keep wanting to say the curse, the case of the Bloody Iris with Edwidge Fenech. And as you can see there, is $39.99, but I got it for $24.99. And it's 4K, so pure Giallo fun. There's Edwidge Fenech there. And, yeah. Most people probably don't know, probably about the only thing most people know her from is a little kind of cameo bit part she played in Hostel Part 2. So Eli Roth kind of, brought attention back to her again. So, but yeah, she's amazingly gorgeous. Good actors too, so, but yeah, I have seen this movie, and nice to finally get it on 4K, it's like, I'm sure there was probably like a nice slipcover or something to this at one point, but oh well, I can live with it on standard, so, it's not going to be the end of the world. So, but anyway, yeah, nice to finally get the case of the Bloody Iris on 4K. Finally get this off my wish list, and, finally nice to have it. Have a nice copy of it too, 4K. This one here, I haven't watched this movie in years, but I always remember just being surprised at how, this is a pretty hard-hitting movie, but yeah, little child serial killer and stuff. I watched this way back in the day on VHS, and of course enough stalling. From MVD Rewind Collection, I have Mikey with Brian Bonsall from, where's that? Yeah, Brian Bonsall from, who's on Family Ties, Josie Bassett, Lyman Ward, John Deal, Ashley Lawrence, from Hellraiser. So yeah, about this little kid who goes around killing people and everything. So yeah, I watched this years and years ago. It's nice to finally, be able to get it. Okay, it says there $29.99. I actually got for $19.99. So $10 difference. So yeah, nice to get it for a good markdown price. So get this one into my collection finally. So there you go, Mikey on Blu-ray. This one here, another one on Blu-ray. Very fun movie. Yeah, this is if you're into like the 80s teen sex comedies. If you're into like, Porky's or Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or, like Revenge of the Nerds, that kind of thing. Good movie, wonderful soundtrack. We got, from MVD Rewind, we got The Last American Virgin. Really fun movie. Got Lawrence Monason from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. It's like, the computer says you're a dead fuck. And then you got Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead, and Amityville 2, The Possession, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Really good, solid cast in this movie. Hell of a soundtrack too. My brother had the CD soundtrack, so he did let me borrow it so I could rip it in my computer, put it on my phone, my laptop, and stuff, so I can listen to it. But yeah, great album. Full of classic 80s hits and everything else. But a fun movie. It's like. I like the part where the three guys go to the blonde woman's house. She's got the accent, and like the one, the chubby guy, you know. She's like, "Come here, my big chubby burrito." That made me laugh. So $24.99. I got it for $15.99. So $9 off. That's really cool. Unfortunately, no slipcover, but oh well. And loaded with bonus features right there. So really good to have this finally. Yeah, my brother's already got this, so nice to finally get it for my collection. So there you go. The Last American Virgin. Okay, Giallo I've heard of. Another one with Edwidge Fenech. You know, I've heard of this. I've heard a lot of people talk about this one, but I've never seen it. From Severin, we have All the Colors of the Dark. I've heard quite a few things about this one. This one was $24.99. I got it for $15.99. I don't know if you can see that there, but that's what I got it for. So yeah, you know, another Severin to add to my collection. Oh, I got another Severin here to show you in a minute, but you know, just yeah. Obviously, these are all still sealed. That's what I'm saying. You know, none of these were trade-ins. You know, it's like these here were all, you know, brand new, still sealed. So, you know, the record store just got a lot of them and got a lot of them in stock. So they just, you know, having themselves a sale, put them for a marked down price. So yeah, so nice to finally, yeah, I can't wait to check this one out. Like I said, I've heard so many people talk good stuff about this one. You know, I've heard a lot of things. Let's see, who is the director of this one? Does it say? Sergio. Sergio Martino, that's who it is. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, nice to finally get All the Colors of the Dark on Blu-ray, so I can finally check this one out. I don't know if there's a 4K of this one. There probably is, but I didn't think about it. Just like, ooh, they got this one and marked down, so I'll go and grab it. Okay. Now we're to my two Grindhouse releasings here. This one I've heard about. I've never seen it, but it does sound interesting. Yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to add this one to my Grindhouse releasing collection. We have William Shatner in Impulse. So this one here was $34.99. I got it for $24.99. So $10 off. So yeah, not sure, but you know, it sounds interesting. When the demons of evil take all the powers of reason, only impulse remains. A grim, unrelenting study of a psychopathic killer. Shatner is surprisingly strong in an enormously demanding role. So, that was the thing, man. Damn, like the other day I mentioned about like Donald Sutherland when I was talking about my edition of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. William Shatner was another one. Like, man, for years, this guy did a lot of horror movies. I'm not complaining. It's just, I just never really realized how many he did, you know. It's like, you know, like when I was a kid, you know, it's like I tried watching some of the Star Trek movies, and the only one I could really get behind was not Search for Spock. That one was okay, but Wrath of Khan. I think everybody, you know, well, not everybody, but I think kind of like a big majority of everybody is like, when it comes to the Star Trek movies, like Wrath of Khan was probably the best one, and I really liked him in that. But then I started seeing, I was like, dear God, this guy did a lot of horror movies back in the day, you know. You know, I knew him from some of the comedies he did, like Airplane 2 and Loaded Weapon 1 and stuff like that. And, you know, I was like, oh, he was really good on, I don't know if you ever saw Ray Bradbury Theater, did that one episode, The Playground. That was a good one, you know. But yeah, so I'm definitely interested in checking this out, you know. It's like kind of cool, get this marked down, you know. I can now add it to my Grindhouse releasing collection here. So, yeah, hopefully this will be pretty good. So, can't wait to check this one out. Okay, so next one up. Okay, again from my Grindhouse releasing collection. You know, the funny thing is you guys are already gonna know, but yeah, the funny thing is I remember, you know, I thought it was interesting because Lionsgate Limited just put out the 4K of Knock Knock, Eli Roth's movie, which is a remake of this movie, so you already know which one I'm talking about most likely. But I remember seeing this movie like one time years and years and years ago. It was on YouTube and it was like a bad like VHS rip of it. So to now get a nice collector's edition of it so I can rewatch it, and I want to check this out again. I mean, I've watched Knock Knock several times, but I've been wanting to revisit this one and you know, and to see it, you know, to see it in a nice quality edition. And so anyway, so you already know what I'm talking about. We have Death Game with Sandra Locke and Colleen Camp. So I don't think my brother ever saw this movie. I know my brother, he always had a thing for Colleen Camp, but I think it was from the 80s sex comedy Joy of Sex. I think that was, I think that's where he kind of, thought she was a real hotsy-totsy and was in that movie. But yeah, I don't think he's ever seen her in this one. But Colleen Camp, I always remember mostly from movies like, like Clue. She played Yvette the maid in Clue. And what were some other ones she was in? Oh, Smokey and the Bandit 3. Anyway, so yeah. And Sandra Locke, we all remember her from all the movies she did with Clint Eastwood. She did direct a movie of her own one time called Rat Boy. Rick Baker did the effects. So anyway, so yeah, there's Sandra Locke, and I think that's Colleen Camp there. I'm not sure, but yeah. But so anyway, I hope this is the 3-disc set bonus CD Death Game soundtrack by Jimmy Haskell. So yeah, it's going to be fun to check this one out again. Of course, watching that, like I always keep saying, because I bought this, yeah, now next thing you know, here's going to come the 4K and all that stuff. So, but anyway, so yeah, just kind of nice to get it added to my Grindhouse releasing collection and be able to watch it again. So, and watch it in a good quality edition. So, happy about that. So, did I say? Okay, yeah, this is $39.99. I got it for $27.99. So, there you go. So, yeah, pretty good price. That's about. I looked it up on Amazon. I was like, yeah, it's going for about almost the same price. So, this was a good deal. For a Grindhouse releasing, yeah. So, we got that. Wow, only 2 more to go. This is another one by Celluloid Dreams. And, unfortunately, yeah, where's that other one? Case of the Bloody Iris. Yeah, that one I could only get the standard edition. This one was the collector's edition. So yeah, it was a little bit more money, but we have Short Night of Glass Dolls. I've heard of this one before. I believe it's a Giallo. Yeah, the most creative Giallo in 4K. So, yeah, as you can see, $48.99 for this one. I got it for $34.99. And interesting though, even though it's 4K, if you could see that there, it's in a Blu-ray case. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But there you go, got the nice hard box. So there you go. I've heard of this one. This is another one. You start hearing about like Giallos and stuff like that. This is one of the ones they mentioned quite a few times. So I'm definitely interested in checking this one out too. This is going to be fun. And so yeah. So we got that one there. I know $34.99 is still a bit steep, but I just figured, for the collector's edition and stuff, why not? I'm sure if it was probably just a standard, it'd probably be a bit cheaper. I probably would have got it for the same price I got this one, but well, as they say, it is what it is. So, Short Night of Glass Dolls. So, can't wait to look at this one. All right. Last but not least, I think this was, considering this comes with four movies, I think I got a pretty good deal on this one. Last year, you kind of expect inflation, but last year I would have gotten a box set like this for like $39.99. This time I got it for $44.99, but this is from Severn. We have Volume 3 of the Danza Macabra, the Spanish Gothic Collection. So I did watch, I just picked up Devil's Wedding Night. I picked that one up. I watched it. Good movie. It was all right, sleazy and, all that stuff. So I imagine these are probably going to be about the same thing. So this one has Necrophagus, Cake of Blood, Cross of the Devil, and The Night of the Walking Dead. So going to be looking forward to seeing these. And I do love these Severn Steel box sets. $44.99. That still considering you're getting 4 movies, and I'm not really sure if any of these are 4K or not, but oh well. And so there we go. I know I'm just kind of showing these cursory glance. If at some point, if any of you ever want me to do a video, kind of show these off a little bit more, just let me know. I'll make a video of that down the road. And but anyway, so yeah, that's about it. I mean, I know it's not a whole lot, but still, I think good case of quality over quantity. So But anyway, so yeah, there we go. Volume 3 of the Danza Macabra Spanish Gothic collection. So there are the movies there. Necrophagus, Cake of Blood, Cross of the Devil, The Night of the Walking Dead. So there we go. So to wrap up, we got this one. Short Night at the Glass Dolls. The Case of the Bloody Iris. Almost said curse again. Case of the Bloody Iris. Death Game. Impulse. All the Colors of the Dark. The Last American Virgin. Mikey. Curtains is curtains, baby, curtains. Curtains. And Frankenhooker. So there you go. So yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with what I got, and like I said, I knew this was going to be. That's why I always made sure to try to make sure I had money put away for a time like this, because I always, you guys have heard me say it before. I knew, I found out that like around this time of year, going into November and then into December and stuff like that, you start to be able to get like good, boutique labels, titles, and you can get them for a cheaper price and everything. So that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch all of this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, would you please leave it a like? Maybe go ahead and share it. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And I think that'll be it. So take care, everybody. Love your movie library, and I'll see you all later.